here at the track with the Kawasaki. I just rode it for a session and I came back and I counted the 2 teeth on the rear sprocket and I got 32. On the front sprocket, I went around and counted them and I have 14. So I have 14 front, 32 rear. That's what I was just running on the track. I was running backwards configuration, running about 55 seconds, which is, I would say that's slow, but I was running backwards, not the normal direction. So we'll go out and ride some more, armed with some info. I'm not going to change anything else on the bike. Don't need to. Shifting down here, this shifter fits very well. Foot on the peg, it's the right place for my toe for the most part. I didn't feel any problems there. Ergonomically, my knee hits my hands while I am cornering. I can live with that. Last thought on this one was the transmission change. Putting the shift kit in. I haven't missed any shifts, so far so good. I only rode, a dozen or so laps, but I'm just getting started. Let's see what else I learned today. That's what, 4th gear? 2nd gear. I need to do some 4th gear. I don't think 4th gear is needed until I really get a good lap going. But I want to use 4th gear to test out the transmission. Shifts. Short shifted there, so I can get 2 downshifts there. I really want to work the transmission. Sloppy. Oh, shifted it the wrong way. I'm in the rev limiter there. Okay, 2nd time out. Made a few minor adjustments. The clutch is not adjusted properly for slack, so I had some problems there. I adjusted the idle speed a little bit because I didn't like the engine braking. So that's all I did. Whoa, wrong gear, wrong gear. I downshifted twice into wrong gear. I'm in 1st. Not what I wanted. That corner is 2nd gear. Okay, still in the 2nd gear. I'm not doing well. unlike the Grom, this one tells you what gear you're in. It's not something I actively use on track, but when I'm trying to figure out where do I brake, what gear am I in, it's nice to be able to look down, get the answer, figure it out, and then not think about it again. But otherwise, when you're riding around, how do you know what gear you're in? You don't. Okay, the Kawasaki is what I'm out on now, and I'm using the AIM Solo as the lap timer. Okay, this is the last lap. I need to go in and do some more adjustments before I get... Ordinarily, you come out and ride your bike the way it's set up, the way you're used to, the way you want it. This time, I have nothing to work from. Kudos to the guys for riding this in the race as well as they did. It's like, here's a pile of whatever, go ride it for 4 hours. But, no shifting problems. So far, so good. I did make one more change to the bike. I moved the fork down about 4 more millimeters. I did even them up on both sides. And last session I rode the Grom. The Grom was just instantly familiar to me. I have so much time on it, it's no surprise that that was the case. What I need to do now is figure out how to work this track on this bike, which works differently. And the other thing I am going to change that is screwed up right now is I tried to raise the idle speed on the throttle body. And the electronics on this bike do something weird. I should have recorded it when I was in the paddock. What it does is I tried to set the RPM at 4,000 RPM, which I'm riding above 4,000 right now. It should make very little difference. But when I adjusted it for that speed, it's almost like it's sort of like a rev limiter, that it will just bounce the RPM up and down and up and down and up and down. It won't maintain the RPM at 4,000 RPM. Instead, it goes up and it goes down, and it goes up and it goes down. And right now, in the corner I was just in, I can feel when I'm getting on the throttle, it's like bumping up and down. What's my RPM at? So I'm at about 5,000 to 6,000 RPM. If I go faster, I'm sure that will not be a problem. Looks like that corner there, I was 5,000 at the apex. But at low RPM, the way I have the idle set, it just seems to be doing weird things. The other thing I was going to say is, if I had to race this bike, I would move the foot peg a little bit forward, because the shifter, I can't change the position of the shifter. It's a little far forward from my foot. Last session, I had some problems making shifts because I would have to pick up my foot and move it forward. And when I did that, I would just hit my knee, or hit my knee against my elbow. I mean, not my elbow, my wrist. Because right there, there's not enough space, ergonomically speaking, for my legs. Yesterday when I was at the track, one of the last things I made a final adjustment to was the fork height sticking out of the triple clamp. Trying to change the handling of the bike a little bit. I did not have any tools. I don't take these with me to the track to measure exactly how much height I have there. So I did something different. I grabbed a socket out of my toolkit. I put the socket along the side, perpendicular, and adjusted the height to the total width of the socket. I did that on both sides because I was trying to match both sides with what I had, so I used the socket to do that. So it's equal on both sides. Now, the question is, what is my setting? What did I adjust that to? Here, I'm just gonna measure the width. So my forks are currently set at 19.75, and that's measured from the chamfer here on the gold down to the top of the triple clamp. So there's a little chamfer there, and that's where I measured off of. 19.75. I increased that one, I guess about 4 millimeters, I'm estimating. So my prior timeout when we first set that was actually around 15. Now it's around 20. And I will say I do like the way it handled better with that change. It felt more neutral mid-corner. It just felt more planted and stable. Stock, by the way, that black cap would be even with the top of the fork. So that's okay. So the guys with smaller feet on the team, I apologize, that shifter is going to be a problem for you, would be my guess. Getting to it to make your shifts. So what do I think about the fork position change? I'm gonna say I like it. The bike wants to be quartering now, so it does not want in between throttle angle. But that final bit that I moved it seems to be more stable in the corner. On the straight, I don't feel any stability issues. And the shifting there felt better.
Battery level is low.
What the why is that so slow? Okay, I need to get an upshift there. The back tire is not quite hooking up there. It's not a problem, but finally done. I take the wheels back off, put on the curved valve stems. Lots of tread life left on the slick front that I put on. This is a medium, it's in a very good condition. I took off the Mitas tires, same thing on the rear. This one is a bit worn in the center, but good life left on the sides. Anyway, this one is less new than the front. Front has very few laps on it, but slicks, front and rear, ready to go. And the valve stem is fixed. Sorry I put the wheels on Friday and forgot to do the valve stems. Oh well, took me an hour today, but the job is done. Looking at the wear pattern on the back tire, it just doesn't seem to be happy. I really want GP shift. Really want GP shift. Yeah, that tire's not happy. Third session out on the Kawasaki. I adjusted the shock a little bit. I don't have the right tools, so I didn't get very far. The problem is the back needs more preload. Yeah, it's not happy in the carousel. Warm the tires up. Oh, not GP shift. You'd think if I run 3 sessions, I would be dialed in. Nope, nope, nope. The other thing I did was put one more click of compression damping in. I did check the rear shock and it had 6 clicks out from maximum, so I dialed in one more click. I discovered the rear shock does not have rebound damping adjustability. I do not have my shit together here.